overview, quick look, roundup, whatever you guys want to call it. That way you don't have to go all over the internet trying to find this information about what's going on. So first things first, last week, I believe it was on the 26th, maybe the 27th, PlayStation had an event in Japan called PlayStation Meeting 2011. A lot of people are announcing they're going to announce their next portable here. But boom, it happened. And so basically at this PlayStation event, they also mentioned some other things. One of the things they talked about was PlayStation Suite. Well, PlayStation Suite basically is an interface. Certain standards are actually going to set up for Android Marketplace. So basically you could download this on your Android set phone. So any droids out there, anything running Android, you could download this as long as it has the minimum specs and play PlayStation games on it. Not a PSP or PS2, but just like whatever the certain standard they have for developing games, any kind of developer could develop for it. They're going to start off with some back title games. It doesn't mean that this is all they're releasing, it's just something they're starting out with. So they're releasing some PS1 games to be played. The kind of cool thing about this, not only is it playable on the PlayStation Suite, it'll also be playable on the NGP. It will also serve as PSP phone. Basically, it's an Android-based phone with a controller in it, so better playable. That's kind of the middle ground. They're hoping to attract people into doing that.
Entertainment experience will be like.
So we're going to run through some real quick, so that's why you watch this intro video. And some of the kind of basic things that you see on here is you're going to notice there's actually the CPU of this thing is mad crazy. It's actually a Cortex A9 core 4-core processor, as well as the GPU is a SGX 550 or I'm sorry 543 UK4 plus core. As you can see on the video as well, 5 OLED screen, crazy resolution, 3G Wi-Fi, GPS all built in. External dimensions are 182 millimeters by 18.6 millimeters by 83.5 millimeters. So this thing is, just fairly a little bit larger in terms of PSP. Also, as well as you can notice, there's a 6-axis, like you can have control over games now. The PS3, front and back camera, microphone, dual speakers. I mean, this thing's built up. It also have 3G built into it, as well as Wi-Fi, different basic keys, Bluetooth 2.1. So I mean, some kind of cool stuff with it. And a real quick list of games: you got Uncharted, Killzone, Wipeout, Resistance, Little Big Planet, Hustle Kings, and Hot Shot Goals. And those are just some of the games we're running through. And we'll go into a little bit depth about exactly games they have. Now, one of the big things on this that a lot of people don't know about this screen, as you saw earlier, it was a 5-inch OLED screen. Major difference in clarity. The screen is a 5-inch OLED. OLED is a big difference. So let's do a real quick comparison. So right now is the LCD. This is something we're kind of used to seeing already. Good in comparison to old contrast CRTs and things like that. But I mean, when you really compare it to an OLED, which an 11-inch OLED monitor right now is going for about $2,000 in the stores. Now look at this. This is the quality here. I mean, this isn't 100% accurate, but I mean, look at the crisp sharpness to it. OLED has like a 1:1 contrast ratio, which means dark blacks, bright colors, really vivid, accurate information, just nice detail quality. Plus the resolution is so crazy that it's just going to look like a monumental difference. And so that's just a major difference between things, and that's what you'll be getting in the new NGP. It's kind of cool. Take a real quick look right now at some of the games that we have up on here. Like you have Uncharted in the top left. If you look at it, it's a still image. I mean, it looks pretty amazing for a portable. Metal Gear Solid 4 underneath that. Resistance right underneath that, which looks kind of cool. Yakuza to the top right, and Little David's below that. These games look really good. These are all still images. We're going to see some video of all these games later. But for the most time right now, just look at what is capable just being produced out of this thing. I think it's amazing. So they're also showing off some other games as well. This is the Unreal Engine 3 showing. It's kind of crazy looking if you look really closely at all the detail that they're producing in such a small thing, as well as Metal Gear Solid. I mean, just amazing stuff here. It's gonna have some volume on, of course. I mean, some crazy looking stuff here. Also, as well, we have Yakuza. And now let's go into these just a little bit briefly. So at the top here, when you have Unreal Engine. This is the same one they have running on the iOS, but this one has a lot more particle effects, people running around, much bigger world. The kind of neat thing about this too is everything uses Unreal Engine 3 for their games. So that's kind of the big benefit of it. And if it's working this well already, 2 weeks to port over, I mean, that's crazy right there. Next we have Metal Gear Solid. This is actually from Metal Gear Solid 4, a clip it from it. It looks pretty cool and some really interesting stuff about it. I guess it's running 20 frames right now, but it's not even optimized. And at the very bottom, we have Yakuza, which, I mean, is kind of a cool game, nothing amazing to look at, but it's a different experience, and it just kind of shows the capability this console so far, the NGP, can produce. I mean, look at the 3 different variations of what's going on. I mean, it just shows the potential of what this system can do, and especially being a handheld. I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing, really, and it shows the potential of what we probably have in, a close future. So, definitely very exciting about all this good stuff right here. Alright, so let's take a little bit up closer look at the NGP. Some really clean imagery here. This is a side view. You can see the sticks actually sticking out, the dual analog sticks, the front camera in the front right there. The other side, as you can see, the back with the touchpad and the back camera with some grips. Looks like some volume buttons, left and right stick. Again, I mean, just this thing, honestly, for being what it is, it's quite stunning. So we're going to go through a real quick run through a diagram that we made here. So you have that 5 OLED touchscreen, the rear touch panel, same size, the dual analog sticks, not nubs, very important, the face buttons on the thing, the left and right analog stick buttons, the game card slot, and the memory slot, USB charger, headphone jack, rear facing camera, front facing camera, no specs on that yet, rubber grips in the back, Wi-Fi button, volume buttons. This at the bottom might be an IR port or even a SIM card port for that 3G, left and right hooks. So some just kind of cool stuff, the breakdown of the console, and I'm pretty sure they're going to give us a little bit more information soon on how that runs. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to run through what is called a semi-interactive demo, meaning it's not a completely interactive demo, it's not 100% live, what is pre-generated imagery to just kind of show us what the experience is going to feel like when we're using it. And we're going to go through and kind of explain some stuff that I analyzed and I saw in the process of, doing it. So we're going to turn it on like normal, and this is the live interface, I believe. That's what they're calling it now. So, Live Area UI. As you can tell closely, you have a 3G section up here, a PS Store, Friends, Browser, Photos, Trophies. Trophies are now coming. It's confirmed. Messages. Little slots here on the side, kind of like the iPhone. So, there's definitely multiple pages. And if you go up, you can see the mail, the music, the videos, different games, comics, online manual, remote play. So, I mean, this kind of gives you an overall idea of what we're looking at, what we're working with up in the corner 3G. So, one of the cool things we're going to jump into right here is Hot Shots Golf and kind of show some new interesting features about it. Now, the really cool part about this is it doesn't just boot into the game. It boots into like what is essentially a menu. You can see some menu buttons up here with different stuff, as well as now we're jumping into the store. The kind of cool thing about this is you can actually download stuff directly from the game. So let's say if there's some really kind of cool stuff you're looking for updating, you can do it. It lists different courses. If you look on the side, it looks like players maybe, balls, clubs. They give you ratings and how much it costs. 500 yen is, I think, equivalent around $5, rough translation. Just some information about it. You could buy it now if you wanted to. You can also bounce right back out of it, which is kind of cool, and I'll go back to it. They have tournament events, which is kind of a cool straight jump into, look at some stuff, information on the game. And if we just press start, we'll actually jump directly into the game. Now, when you're jumping directly into the game, this is kind of cool because the loading experience didn't take that long. And now when you back out, you're in that previous menu, but your game is still technically on, and that's the cool, kind of cool part. And see these little things down here? These guys, that is the kind of new social feature of the game. And we pull it up. And what it is, it's kind of like a comment system on the game itself. Any of your friends or people around you, near you, you can actually put up a topic and people can comment on it and they can put down if they like it or not, if they don't like it. They can make comments about trophies, maybe how easy or hard it is to get, secrets how to do it. In this game, for example, what if there's a hazard and you had to shoot over to get to the green on a certain hole? It all kinds of explain. I think that's a really kind of cool dynamic in the game, and how it works. Hopefully they'll add some stuff, maybe like GIF imaging, maybe some videos you can produce for it, because there are cameras. And hopefully this kind of shows us what will eventually go back into the PS3 in terms of this kind of stuff. Because if it's popular here and it's not as powerful as the PS3, why can't the PS3 do this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Again, just having some cool stuff going on here. Alright, so we're going to jump out. We're going to jump into the game. This is Hot Shots Golf. We're basically going to give you like a demo to kind of show you how it works, and I'm going to explain some things while he's doing it. I don't know if all this stuff is actually going to make it into the game or it's going to be really feature rich, but at least you can kind of see some really cool things that are different about it when it's happening. So if you notice here, the wind's going on. You can see he leaves in the bathroom. He taps her. She actually acknowledges him. So that's kind of a cool thing. You pull up the menu system right here. You can look at your score real easy. You can pull up your course real easy seeable. I mean, that's probably the easiest way to do any kind of menu sets is actually by touching it. That's why people love PC. Here you can actually change where you want to be on the tee. So if you want to change your angle because you want to get around a corner better, you can do that automatically. Again, if you notice the kind of wind crazy in the background, blowing her hair and stuff. Right now we're jumping into what is called like a first-person mode. And this is kind of cool because this actually uses the compass, the accelerometers, the axis, all that kind of stuff to kind of give you an idea of what it's like in the world through the eyes of the golfer. Not exactly through the eyes of the golfer, but similar. As you can tell, when we're turning it around, everything looks or follows